Hello, this is Simon and this is Maia 0.48. First of all, today we're going to look at the graphic settings. So you see there are a few more. You can now enable anti-aliasing. This will really drastically improve the graphical quality. You can turn that up to 4 times or 8 times currently, and that will improve the texture quality of everything from the textures to the edges of the objects. It goes all the way through the lighting pipeline, so it's not just some kind of screen space blur or something. Also, we have text effect settings, so you can now turn them off if you're maybe dyslexic or you have visual problems. Having the text jump around the whole time is not the most useful thing, but I'm going to leave that on. So we'll go back. We have a new tutorial, which is now rewritten and much different. So welcome to Maia. Planetfall has been a success. Your objective now is a self-sustaining colony that can begin work on larger, more permanent projects. It is impossible to directly control colonists. That technology has not yet been invented. We must satisfy ourselves with the technology that we have developed for watching them. Please press Y to confirm that you have read this text and are capable of obeying simple instructions. You have 15 seconds to experiment. So, as usual, press WSAD to move around. Press and hold the middle mouse button to rotate your view. Scroll the mouse wheel to zoom. And sit up straight and take deep breaths. To issue construction orders, click on the build buttons below. The square box blueprint icon allows you to place more rooms. Use the 09 keys to cycle and press Y to demonstrate your obedience. If possible, use a clean finger. So click the flashing room icon. Press Q or E or 1 to 9 to cycle rooms. Those are now unified, so much faster keyboard control. So click and drag out a small room. And tell me about your mother. So mining allows your colonists to collect essential building materials and create space to build new rooms. You can issue mining orders to your imp robot by clicking on the top of the rock cross sections. Press Y now, right now. So again, we just click that, click the imp tracking button, and it will start tracking him. As you see, it would throw in some mining orders already, so you kind of get the idea of what those are if you're not a Dungeon Keeper player. So having completed that, we move on to building rooms. As the same, you can press Q and E or the number keys to cycle through them. So we're going to place some doors, place our workshop tables, and we're going to cycle through the things because we skipped over that bit in the tutorial. There we go. You may wish to begin satisfying your power needs, building atmosphere generators and growing your own food supplies. Please remember the average human can survive 3 weeks without food, 3 days without water, 1 minute without air. And don't panic. There we go, we didn't panic. So as you see, the colonists are quite productive in this build. They've already built everything we've already given them. So we're going to place a hydroponics. The hydroponics trees have been reworked, so they now require lighting to grow, and the lighting will actually impart its energy in them, so they will actually get more energy for the more light you give them, and that means they'll produce more food, more atmosphere, they'll grow quicker. Of course, with fire being in this build now, you don't want to build them too close to the lights, because the lights can heat the plants up, dry them out, and cause a fire. So we're going to place a whole load of them, because the colonists are quite quick at building stuff now, so they'll get them built already. You can actually build quite a productive base now without atmosphere generators if you use plants. Obviously there's issues in using plants instead of atmosphere generators to generate your air, but it's still a valid way to play. So we've got this button down left hand side, it's counted down to 0, so we can now call in new colonists. Place some glow sticks so we can see them. So that looks like they're reasonably close to the base, I think. So we'll go back to the base and see how they're building their plants. They're doing that quite quickly. There is the risk that they might build themselves into that room, but I think the colonists are not that stupid anymore. So we'll dig out this area and we can build a nice little room here. As you can see at the top, we've got these emails queuing up now. This is a new system which I've written, so you can check your emails. So you have an inbox and messages queue starting on the left, and right click to get rid of them. So as you see, I just right clicked, got rid of it. So we've got these, that's from day 15, so that's a few days ago. And again, day 15, so again, they're just complaining about the workshop table over and over again. But there's a lot more variation there, and you can see a lot more of their kind of sanity and other stuff clocking through. You see the plants have started growing, but they'll grow quite slowly without lights on them now. We have a new light model, thanks to our new artist, Hannah. The old one I had done in about 15 minutes 2 years ago, so it's about time we got around to changing that model. So we've got the imp, it's getting up to his stuff. We probably don't want to place a room here just yet, until those have been dug out. So all our plants are growing. Those will be generating atmosphere now, so we don't have to worry about rushing out an atmosphere generator. So I've forgotten to place some power, so I'm going to go outside and place some wind turbines, because that would be slowly ruining my base otherwise. We have those new colonists that have just come in the door. And you can see she's now building the nanoscale 3D printer, which will allow us to print more imps and increase our productivity a little bit. So we're going to build a research lab here. Now that the game's nice and stable, it's quite easy to get the research up and running. You'll actually get emails about the research now too, so you'll be quite aware of what research is going on and what it means to you, rather than having to dig through the storage tapes and things to find out what's been researched. Although of course now with fire you need to be very careful with your research, as storage tapes that are destroyed could lose the research and then you lose the perk that you gained from the research, so you have to be very aware of that. I'm going to print another imp, get him digging out a new area. And it looks like we've got a reasonably good base going so far. I always like watching the little imp animation, even if it's a bit creepy. So if we go back up to the hydroponics now and have a look, you can see that the plants are growing quickly. If you click a light to turn it off, you can see that the other ones will start growing quicker, so you can manage your energy. And we've got a vague atmosphere complaint. I assume it's probably from this end of the base. So we probably need to build some atmosphere generators and get some more power going. Some flywheel energy storage will help us store some energy. And now I'm going to move on to what most people are probably here to actually see, which is the fire. The fire is still quite placeholder, but is properly simulated within the game now. It runs off the atmosphere simulation, taking oxygen from the air and fuel from the objects. And every object has a different ignition point and auto ignition point, so any amount of heat transferred onto that object can cause it to catch fire. Some objects can catch fire on their own, such as the atmosphere generator before it's been upgraded, or the lights as they get hot. So you need to be very careful about your placement of objects now. If you do get a fire, your colonists will try to fight it. Sometimes they'll put on their fireproof suits, go to the airlock. If the airlock's too far away, they may try fighting the fire on their own without a suit on, and that's very dangerous and they probably will burst into flames. So you want to make sure that they don't think to do that. One of the easy ways you can do that is by clicking on the doors to lock them. That will also choke the fire, as it will run out of atmosphere quite quickly, putting the fire out, and then the objects can be rebuilt. Although of course you've got to keep in mind that they hold their temperature for quite a long time, so even if you kill the fire by choking it, if you then reopen the doors and cause a rush of oxygen to come into the room, the fires will reignite. So you have to be very thoughtful and mindful of how long the fire's been out, how long it's had to cool down. You've also got to worry about things that can move. So for example, a robot or a chicken that catches on fire may start running between rooms, setting things on fire in all your rooms. I'll let you experiment with that and I won't show you too much. I hope you like the latest build. I put a lot of work into it and I will see you next time. Thank you.